down to the Occupy Easton. Going down overnight. Spend the night with the guys, gals, whoever is down there actually. There it is, my weekend bivouac. Try not to use up supplies for the occupiers that stay here all the time. So I figured I'd set up my own little shelter. Over the years, this seems to be the best way I've found to set up a shelter, especially in the cold weather. Connect the Mylar blanket to the back and to the top. And here's another idea. I mean, of course I got my foam sleeping pad here, but this is just a sunblock from a truck. The largest size fits me the best because I'm a rather tall guy. It really helps up the heat. The other thing is underneath I have a Mylar blanket as well. Helps to reflect the heat upward. The reflective Mylar is one of the better winterized camping items. Plastic under your tent, and then roll it under. Creates like a little moat. Keep you inside, out of the wet, and outside it'll be like a little barrier where the rain can't get underneath. Don't put anything around the edges of your tent either. Always keep everything towards the middle as much as you can. Nice little item to have for the wet, mushy ground we have at this time of year. Vortex ground anchors. And they're very good for anchoring tents into soggy or moist ground. Mostly because you don't hammer them into the ground, you actually turn them into the ground like a screw. You have to apply a little bit of pressure as you're staking your tent down. And what I've found as well is that if your ear of your tent is against the ground when you start screwing it in, the ear stays against the ground and actually compresses, and as you're turning this in, it holds the ear down. If you put it through the stake and then try to screw it down, your ear will screw right off the top of the thing. But if you keep it down against the ground and screw it in, it'll stay right down against the ground. The other really super thing is that these have a hole at the top. Now this hole is to facilitate the metal rod that comes with it. You actually have a key to turn the stake down into the ground with. Just by putting a stick through here as a snow dog. A snow dog is a device used to anchor a tent to the ground in the snow. Should you need to move your tent, you can simply break the stick and remove your tent without having to cut your tent loose or to try to pull this out of the ground or another stake. Once it's frozen into the ground, you're not going to be able to just yank it out. The frost on the ground will prevent that. Simple little trick for attaching the plastic to your shelter. Just a simple stone. Put through the plastic. Make yourself a little ghost. And then wrap your twine around it. And make your knot. And there you go. Tarp tie. Okay, we're inside the souped up tent. Mylar blanket connected about halfway across the ceiling, then connected around the bottom. Little teepee knot. I have a little bead in there actually. I went upstairs and got some beads out of my craft stuff. But yeah, that's how I connected it. See there, there's one of the ties. This is always a good idea too. I've used these a bunch of times. You could even, if there's an edge, like a lip around the edge of your seams, you could use those there. You could use those there and easily do all your connections just with those. Like I said, I've used those many times before. This is another item that can really help you survive in winter temperatures. And I know a lot of you are thinking, oh yeah, I already use these in my gloves and in my pockets. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about inside your tent, inside your sleeping bag. Many a night I've taken 2, 3, sometimes even 4 of these and opened them up and put them into my sleeping bag to warm my bag before I got into it. Often when you climb into a sleeping bag and it's cold, you're actually driving your core temperature down just so you can warm up your bag. If you use something like this, you can warm up the bag before you ever even hit the sack. These are just 2 of the brands that are available. There are many different brands out there. I've really found no brand to really be poor in performance. They've all pretty much proven out to perform rather well. There's different time limits on them though, so keep an eye out for that. There are as little as 8-hour hand warmers that 8 hours later you're starting to cool down. Now these here last for about 18 hours, and these here have a listing of 10 hours. But like I said, there's other brands out there that have other time limits on them. So you want something that's going to last the longer time limits of the winter nights. Winter nights are long and cold, so these help out a lot.